Yes, so I had shared a little document, a little play by the mother, the Ascent to Truth. So if time permits, if there is nothing much, then we'll begin with that. But before beginning with that, I would like all of you to just share or throw in front, in the put in the circle whatever you have read so far and whatever you want to share today with us. Any practical uh, kind of challenges, or maybe you read something which really resonated a lot and which has become your life. If you want to share about that, yeah.
So, Monica ji, can you hear me?
Yes, Yashuji. Yeah.
So, I attended one of your sessions on surrender, and
Yeah.
that really resonated with me. And I am on this quest to find more about it. So, just joining you, and very new to Mother's teachings and Sri Aurobindo's teachings. So, just here to explore, and yeah, so welcome.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
I can't hear Monica. Will you please?
You can't hear? What
Yeah, yeah.
happened? Acha, is it a little low? The
Yeah, very
voice
low.
is a little low.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just yeah.
So how is it now? Is it still low?
Yeah, no, no. Your voice is okay.
Acha, Yashoji's was a little
Yeah.
low.
Mm.
Yes, yes. So hi Preeti, welcome. Would you like to share first, or first listening and then sharing later? Anything you have read, any lines that you came across that you would like to share? Yes, Yashoji. The voice was a little low, but it was audible. It was audible. Yes, Preeti, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Uh,
Ah, yeah.
oh, एक्चुअली मैं 2 दिन से ना कबीर दोहे का जो हमारा ग्रुप है
Mm,
उसी को सुन रही हूँ बहुत बार मतलब आई बीन वांटिंग टू राइट दोस दोहास आल्सो
yeah.
देन आई लिसन टू योर दिस थिंग टॉक्स ऑन इट so nothing much.
Anything that resonated there, would you like to share with all of us? The Doha, any Doha that you.
One second. So many of them are about working on yourself and letting go of your ego. About going inward. कल मैं वो सुन रही थी माला फेरत जुग भया फिरा न मन का फेर कर का मन का डार दे मन का फेर.
Mm. Would you like to say it in English also? Like what a kind of little crux of it in English?
Yeah, it's about letting go of the outer rituals
Mm.
and going inwards because our mind is otherwise constantly seeking outside things. So we have to turn it around. And basically स्वाध्याय अपनी study करो अपना समझो कि like where you have to work on yourself and for that light to then show within you. So and let your ego surrender to the divine basically. So having that aspiration to just pray to just prepare me
Mm.
because हम सबके लिए कुछ ना कुछ set है. There is some purpose for all of us. So yeah, it was very nice.
It's also kind of relating to whenever we talk about fairing a mala, a mala is a string, a bedded string, right? So we do it this like 108 times or like that. And whenever we are, yes, Mohitji. Whenever we are doing that, mostly if we see our regular ordinary consciousness, we are always wanting to have a result through that. Like I will do the mala and I will achieve something, or maybe something will be given to me, right? And as Preeti was sharing that it's always the mind is always seeking something from outside. Something will fill me up, something will fill me up. But that never comes, as if the mind remains always continuously seeking. And definitely it must be seeking something, that is for sure. But maybe the direction it has taken, the outward direction, that is not right, because there it is not getting it. So what is it that the mind is seeking, and where should the mind look for it?
Even people don't have the time to seek. They forget in the day-to-day life when they're doing some activity. They even forget God, purpose, everything. And we have this habit of going back to our that other self, which is not our true self. So one has to be
See,
very vigilant about it. Yeah.
Preeti, agar dekho, even if I remain in my daily affairs having no touch with the divine, okay, I don't know about
Yes,
God,
and
you
that
know,
should become clear how you're going to live your life. Yeah. Even
even
when
that
you're
would, tell me that where am I headed, because this
yes,
is
yes.
not yielding the rest. For example, I follow a desire and I see that even following that desire is not making me restful. It is continuing the
Mm.
restlessness. So
No,
even
we
this,
have to be busy because we are human beings. Our mind, we have to be busy in something, whether we are
exactly,
cooking or we are working on a file or and then how we approach that work also will
yeah,
become the like a part of the practice, of course.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's very interesting how we keep on missing the obvious, It's right there in front of me, this truth that my desires, my ambitions are not leading me to rest. It's like, I'm confronted with truth all the time, but I'm still able to miss it. That's actually a comedy. How can I miss that? For many, many years, we keep on missing that.
mm,
So I think Abhijit ji also has joined. So hi Abhijit ji, are you there? Vikas is also there. So again, all of us, this is an open circle, and whenever we feel ready to share, just unmute yourself and please share whatever you have been reading, anything to reflect upon collectively, or anything that you want to share with the circle today. So yeah, Vikas ji has also joined. Yes. So Yashoji has a comment here. Aren't seeking, even seeking within, and surrender opposite to each other? Yes, yes. Yeah. Would you like to say more about it, Yashoji? It will be nice to hear from you if you can elaborate upon it a little. Okay, okay. Yes. Yeah, I can. For example, mother talks about self givings. My mother talks about surrender. And there she says again and again repeatedly that surrender is a self giving. You have given yourself. So, as if the one that in me who was seeking continuously, endlessly, that seeker itself has dissolved. That seeker itself has annihilated willingly. It has to be a willing surrender. So, once I have given myself to the divine, when we talk about surrender, with respect to what Mother shares about surrender, if so, that is actually the end of my seeking, because that in me which was seeking has been offered now. So who will be seeking? Who will be wanting the results of surrender? Because there is no one left. So if we talk true surrender, it is actually, yes, you're right, there it's self annihilation. So in surrender, no one is there to seek. That's actually end of all my miseries. If I come to detailed surrender, each and every thought, each and every feeling, each and every act has been surrendered. I am not doing it for my own self. I am doing it as a divine work. That okay, I have to live now. I've been given this human body. What is the best I can do with this life? I offer this to you. So there is no one in me who now awaits the result of surrender. So you're right, seeking and surrender seem actually very opposite, and I feel they are opposite to each other, because in surrender there is no one left to seek. Otherwise, the mind is constantly seeking, 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 seeking. If it's a chained mind, it will be seeking liberation, right? If it's a mind who has enough accumulated knowledge, it will be wanting more clarity upon knowledge. So something or the other, the mind keeps on seeking. But if I have offered completely my instrument to the divine, the whole instrument, which comes obviously as a progressive, as we evolve slowly and slowly, slowly, we give more and more of ourselves. Then who is the one in me that further seeks and still seeks? There cannot be anyone actually. And if I see myself still seeking, I can be sure that that's the remnant of my own ego that has to be again offered. So that can be taken as a signal. Whenever I find someone in me who again and again demands, expects, seeks, it has to be offered again and again, again and again. It's like a continuing journey, as Chitraji also shares many a times, it has been continuing and still continues. And the very fact that there is no one in me who wants to end this journey, right? Because being on this path itself is such a beauty that one feels blessed that, okay, something worthwhile is happening. So there is no hurry to end the path, that, oh, I must achieve what is to be achieved. There is no one who is waiting for that. Yeah. So Vikas ji, Abhijit ji, Chitra ji, just feel free to share whenever you are ready. Yes.
This is from Mother to Huda, one of the sadhika, no, in ashram.
Yeah.
Mother told actually, indeed, the Lord told you what are the essential conditions to fulfill, and especially that the most essential of all are unconditional confidence and trust in the divine, an unshaking and steady faith, no yielding to the suggestions of falsehood. There are some more of these conditions which I can let you know if you want. My question is always, what is the difference between that confidence and faith, trust?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Confidence is little, I mean, trust is little more above confidence, no?
Yeah.
That, yeah. Then faith is total faith.
Actually, we can also try to understand this isn't it in a common day-to-day kind of perspective. For example, if I feel confident of myself, it means there must be some image of myself from the past. Something in the past happened and I was able to do something. That image is helping me to have confidence. Oh, if I can do that, I can also do that. So confidence, if I can say, is actually based on an image of myself. Trust again is image based, because if I want to say that I trust you, it means there must be something you have done in the past that I am able to trust you, right? So again, limited to images. But when we talk about faith, actually faith is a completely unknown territory.
Oh, okay.
I have no clue what the divine is up to, but I still have faith. So it's a complete unknown territory. I am not wanting to have an image about the circumstances or situations that may come in the beginning in on my path. and I'm open to it.
Okay.
So a strong certitude, mother talks a lot about certitude. She herself had a lot of certitude that divine victory shall be won. Now, how it comes, how it affects itself, the divine victory, I am open to it. If it shatters me in the process, I am open to it.
Correct.
So faith, what
It is
appears to
not,
me,
I mean, it is not based on past experience. It
it
has, it is self.
I think it may be based on past experiences, but it is also open to a lot of unknown.
Okay.
Faith is open to a lot of unknown. Faith is open to even my own shattering. So I have so much of certitude that no matter how much I may shatter through this life, whatever will happen will be good.
Correct. Nice.
So yeah, and strength and faith go together then, right? Also opens me to a lot of strength within, that I am not wanting any person to behave in this or that way, or circumstances to go in this or that way. I'm just completely open.
Okay.
So faith is also an openness,
Yeah. That's why she told an unshaking and steady faith. Okay.
unshaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then it will not shake, that whatever may come, it's all welcome. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Monica.
Yeah. So Vikas ji, Beena ji, would you like to share something? Anything that you've read and you want to share it with the circle? Abhijit ji, yes.
Yeah, sorry, maybe from next time I will be able to share.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Vikas ji, would you like to share? Are you there? Okay, I can't connect. Okay. So shall we then begin with that? In that case, we can just begin with this PDF that I shared with all of you. Let's see how far we can go. Yeah. Yes. I'll just share the screen. Okay. So this is the play that Mother wrote, The Ascent to Truth. And yeah, so the persons in the drama are the philanthropist, pessimist, the scientist, the artist, three students, two lovers, the ascetic, and two aspirants. So these are the characters. And I would request any one of you to just read. I'll just put it in yellow, and maybe you can just read a paragraph and we can all listen. Yeah. Anyone who would like to read? Preeti, would you like to go? Or Beena ji, you can also read if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, why
All
not?
right. I'll try. Let me try.
Yes, yes.
From prologue, no? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In the artist's studio, evening at nightfall, the end of a meeting held by a small group of people united in a common aspiration to find the truth. Present, the man of goodwill, the philanthropist, the disillusioned man who no longer believes in the possibility of happiness on earth, the scientist who, seek, who seeks to solve the problems of nature, the artist who dreams of a more beautiful ideal. A group of three students, two boys and a girl, who have faith in a better life and in themselves. Two lovers who are seeking for perfection in human love. The ascetic who is prepared for an austerity in order to discover the truth. Two beings brought together by a common aspiration and who have chosen the infinite because they have been chosen by the infinite. The
Yeah.
curtain rises.
Beautiful.
Now, somebody else will read?
Yes. 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 Yeah. Let's stay with this a little.
Yes. Beautiful, the last line.
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like a choiceless thing happening,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm. Yeah. So now all the characters are one by one kind of, sharing their thoughts. This is the artist. Chitraji, would you like to read?
Yeah. Artist, my dear friends, our this thing is hiding for me. Yeah. My our meeting is drawing to an end, and before we close and take the final resolution, which will this is hiding. Okay, I'll see. Which will that is hiding with your thing.
Unite
Oh,
us.
Oh,
let me just share it in the window if you're not able to
yeah,
see it.
because,
Yeah.
yeah, because
I'll
the
share it in the
faces
window.
and yeah numbers are there.
Wait, wait. Yes, you can read this in the chat window.
Yeah, my dear, my dear friends, it is gone again. Okay, it is not visible.
The chat window is not visible.
Now it is not visible. Okay,
Uh-oh.
yeah, I'll read through my yeah from my phone. I will read.
Acha,
My
okay.
dear friends, our meeting is drawing to an end, and before we close and take the final resolution, which will unite us in action, I must ask you once again if you have anything to add to the declarations you have already made.
Yeah, maybe you can read the next paragraph also.
Yeah, philanthropist.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, I would like to state once again that I have devoted my whole life to helping humanity. For many years, I have tried all known and possible methods, but none has given me satisfactory results. And I am now convinced that I must find the truth if I want to succeed in my endeavor. Yes, unless one has found the true meaning of life, how can one help men effectively? All the remedies we use are mere palliatives, not cures. Only the consciousness of truth can save humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So when I was going through this paragraph, a very strong something came out from this paragraph. Something as if it's coming out about the philanthropist or about this person. There is a lot of sense of I, a sense of strong I-ness,
Correct.
right? I have devoted my life to helping humanity. I have tried all the possible methods and I can't see any satisfactory results. And I must find the truth if I want to succeed in my endeavor. So, as if the truth is being used as a means to reach somewhere, right? That was something very stark when I was reading this. It kind of came upon me that truth is not enough by itself. Truth will be used as a means to give a successful end to my endeavor. And again, in the next sentence, unless one has found the true meaning of life, how can one help men effectively? Again, that ambition of helping men is the driving force. So, the driving force is not to find truth for the sake of finding truth. The driving force is because it will help me to further my what I think is right in life. No, that is the reason I should strive to find truth. So that was something which really kind of strongly came about from this paragraph. Any other thoughts? Most welcome.
Yeah, in the outset, when you see it, it is very good actually. It seems to be very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, outset, no?
yeah,
But when you see deeply, as you said, that dryness is there always.
yeah. Yeah, because when we socially see such a person, we will see, oh my God, such a selfless person and, doing work socially for the people and all that. But even as mother also shares at many places that social service can again become aggrandization for the ego.
Correct.
Yeah. So it, as Kabir says, Maya is Mahathagni, it can come in many, many forms. We can be just completely caught unaware. We will think that we are doing a divine work, but I'm completely following my ego, nothing else. Right? Yeah.
But here also it is used, but only the consciousness of truth. But as you said, that is being used, no?
That it being used,
Consciousness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not being said that I will find truth because that's the only worthy thing to find in life, but I will find truth because I know that it can save humanity, and because I am the one who will save humanity. That's the reason I must find truth.
Correct.
So let's go further, if not any more comments, to the pessimist. Yeah, anyone would like to read?
I'll read.
Yeah,
Okay, in the philanthropist, also the last line, everybody is talking about the truth in the last line from their perspective.
yeah.
So let's see what the pessimist is saying. I have suffered too much in life. I have experienced too many disillusionments, borne too many injustices, seen too much misery. I no longer believe in anything. I no longer expect anything from the world or from men. My last remaining hope is to find the truth, always supposing that it is possible to find it.
Hmm.
This is a person who has never seen anything.
Never seen anything?
He's like, pessimist is like an extreme, there's the other side of the spectrum completely.
Hmm.
Somebody who has never experienced anything good, light, or truth. I mean, like,
Actually, what we see here is a lot of ego, because ego always suffers. The more I am suffering, I can be pretty sure that I'm drenched in my ego. The ego is living my life, right? So if I have become a pessimist, I have become a pessimist because what I planned in life never worked out. What I thought this will happen in my life and this will bring me happiness, that never worked. So because my plan failed, I have become a pessimist. I have never kind of opened myself to something more in life. I have kind of taken, as you were saying, another extreme. Because my plans failed, so life must be a cruel thing, right? Yeah.
should I continue?
Yes. Yes,
Maybe one or
please.
two more paras.
Yeah.
First aspirant. You see us together here because a common aspiration has linked our lives. But we are not bound by any carnal or even emotional ties. One single preoccupation dominates our existence: to find the truth.
Hmm. I think this reminds me of this Kabir Doha. कबीर हल्दी पियरी और चूना उज्जवल भाई, राम स्नेही जो मिले दोनों वरण गवाए. So Kabir is saying that just like haldi by nature it's peela, it's yellow in color, and chuna is ujwal, it's white in color, the chalk stone or whatever we call chuna in Hindi English. And when these two meet, राम स्नेही जो मिले दोनों वरन गवाएं. So in the pursuit of truth, one is ready to leave its very essential nature. What I have thought about myself since the beginning of this life, I am ready to leave that essential nature in pursuit of truth. So when two people meet who are meeting for the love of truth, for the, for truth is the only thing worthy following in life, then they don't even care if their own identities are kind of getting dissolved on the way. Ram snehi jo mile, dono varan gavaye. So I think that reminded me of this Doha, this aspirant's few lines. We are not bound by any carnal or even emotional ties. One single preoccupation dominates our existence to find truth. Yeah. Yes. Anyone would like to read the next one?
I can read if nobody else is.
Sure, sure.
One of the lovers, indicating the aspirants. Unlike our two friends here, he puts his arm around his beloved, live only by each other and for each other. Our sole ambition is to realize a perfect union, to become a single being in two bodies, one thought, one will, one breath in two breasts, one beat in two hearts that live only by their love, in their love, for their love. It is the perfect truth of love that we want to discover and live. To that, we have dedicated our lives.
Yeah. This is a very kind of a clear description of what we feel love is when we talk in society about love. That two people lost in each other, excluding all the world around them, right? So, and we call that love. And it's actually a torture, if I can say, because uh, in that wanting to possess each other, wanting to limit each other, and not wanting to excluding all the world around, this can be the biggest torture on a human being ever. That again we are putting a boundary on the human being. You belong to me, I belong to you, and rest all is doesn't matter.
Correct.
Yeah. But that's the common definition of love that we see all around, on the hoardings in Bollywood and Hollywood. And that's what we see even our parents would tell, find a mate and get settled, for example. That you just make that person your whole world and exclude rest what it has to offer
Yes. But same thing, had it been for the divine, it would have been perfect.
you. But then we will not be excluding the world, because if it's a
Yes,
divine
then
union,
it's
yeah,
everything. It's the
yeah,
whole world.
yeah,
Embrace the whole world.
exactly. At least that's what the image that we have been shown, by the masters. Yeah.
Yes. Will someone read?
Talking about Bollywood,
Yeah.
जब हम छोटे थे, we used to still have some movies on Mirabai, Sai Baba,
Ah.
and maybe some soldiers, like some. Um, Luckily, thankfully, there are still some artists who make such movies.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and in the lockdown, we've had new heroes. The frontline people are called heroes now. So a new
Mm.
meaning has been given people who are selflessly working for others.
Yes.
So now comes the ascetic. Who would like to read?
I'll go if nobody
Yeah.
is there. It does not seem to me that the truth can be reached so easily. The path that leads to it must be difficult, steep, precipitous, full of dangers and risks, of threats and deceptive illusions. An unshakable will and nerves of steel are needed to overcome all these obstacles. I am ready for every sacrifice, every austerity, every renunciation in order to make myself worthy of the sublime goal I have set before me.
Hmm. Yeah. This reflects another set of bent of mind, that I have set an image in my mind, being an ascetic that I am, that it's very difficult, it's a tough path, and it has to be struggled for. So that's again another extreme image that I have set, and this is how I begin to approach truth. Yeah. And with what surety I'm saying the path that leads to it must be difficult. So it is just a very kind of a strong, as we become, over time we become so rigid in our mindset, and that's why Sri Aurobindo and Mother talk a lot about mental suppleness, mental flexibility, which we lack as human beings mostly. Very rare would be we find people who are open, flexible, supple, yet they have a direction in life, right? We think that I'll be lost if I get lost of my rigidity, but that's not so. You know? In fact, most rigid people are the ones who may feel lost, but they will not admit that I'm feeling lost, right? Because how on earth can I admit that I feel lost? Right?
Yeah.
That also needs a lot of flexibility. Very interesting.
Mm.
And Kabir, again, I'll keep on just sharing whatever Kabir comes to me
Yeah.
whenever. So Kabir's bhajan, in one of the Kabir's bhajan, he says, "बन में लुट गया मुनिजन नंगा, डस गई ममता उल्टा टंगा." So even when this Muni or the Sadhu went to the forest, there also he was mamta by attachment, and which is attachment to his own rigidity about how truth is to be found. That if I, get rid of my clothes and wear these many white clothes or orange clothes, only this is the way truth is to be found. Again, I am in the grip of Maya, illusion, right, which is keeping me separate from truth.
One of the
So,
talks, no, from
yeah.
Alok Bhai,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard once actually. He
Acha.
talked about one Naga sannyasi,
Hmm.
and he told actually he is attached to his detachment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Yeah,
beautiful
this.
mind, yeah.
Yeah, he had come to Delhi ashram, है ना? Delhi ashram he
Ah,
had
yeah,
come,
yeah, yeah, correct, correct.
and the father of
Ah,
Tara Didi,
Sugar, yeah,
है ना?
yeah, yeah, correct.
Surendra Nath Johar, he
Yeah,
was there.
he invited, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
correct, correct, correct. That word, I mean, it went into me actually when you told, I remembered that.
Yes. Very nice. Yeah.
Attached to detached.
Yeah, so this Naga Sadhu, what they were doing? So he had a couple of disciples, for those of us who have not heard the story. And so they were keeping like leaves in front of his feet wherever he was to step further.
Correct, correct.
And so he did not wanted to hurt, for example, animals, little creatures who were on his path. He was bare feet. And when so much of trouble, Surendranath Johar must have seen, so much of trouble these people are taking care where he's placing his feet and all that. So he said, I don't want to hurt these little creatures, or I want to be detached from that karmfal or whatever is happening. And then later on, when everything was over, uh, Mr. Johar, he must have remarked, that I see that you are so attached to your own idea of detachment.
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. So the artist.
Yeah. Who's reading? I'll read. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Artist, turning to the others, you have nothing more to add? No? So we are all agreed. Together, by uniting our efforts, we shall climb this sacred mountain that leads to the truth. It is a difficult and arduous enterprise, but well worth the attempt. For when one reaches the summit, one can look upon the truth, and all problems must necessarily be solved. So tomorrow we shall all meet at the foot of the mountain, and together we shall begin the ascent. Goodbye.
Yeah.
All withdraw after saying goodbye.
Yeah. We think that the path to truth is difficult, but I see that the difficulties that we face daily, the daily struggles of our life, we we just forget to see the obvious, that we don't see that they are also difficult, right? So if I'm continuing to live in falsehood, in misery, it's not an easy life either. So
Yes.
why to just make truth so difficult and this so easy? This is also not easy. What I do daily, the daily burdens of responsibility that I keep on carrying for years and years, sometimes a whole lifetime, that is also not easy. But that I don't see it as obvious, because that is what society supports.
Right.
Society says that this is how it should be lived, and if you are living any other way, you must be mad, and I am not ready to be mad. So I take the bribe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, so let's see how much we can cover. I think we can cover the first stage at least today. 7 stages of the ascent, and this is the first stage. So, yeah. So I'll just read this bit and then maybe someone else can read the other part. The first stage, so this is a scenery that is described, a kind of green plateau from which one has a view of the whole valley. From this plateau, the path, which has been easy and wide so far, suddenly narrows and winds around the spurs of the massive and rocky mountain rising to the left. So there is this description that so far it has been an easy and wide path. Now the turns are going to be a little tricky. All arrive together, full of energy and enthusiasm. They look down on the valley below. Then the philanthropist calls them together with a gesture. Yeah. Yes, Chitraji or Preeti or anyone else?
Okay. Friends, I must speak to you. I have something serious to tell you. Silence. All listen attentively. Cheerfully, easily, we have climbed the mountain all together as far as this plateau from which we can look at life and better understand its problems and the cause of human suffering. Our knowledge is becoming vaster and deeper, and we are nearer to finding the solution I am seeking. But here we come to a decisive turning point. Now the ascent will become steeper and harder, and above all, we are going to cross over to the other side of the mountain where we shall no longer be able to see the valley and men. This means that I shall have to give up my work and betray my pledge to help humanity. Do not ask me to stay with you. I must leave you and return to my duty. He starts back on the downward path. The others look at one another in surprise and disappointment.
Yeah. The beautiful example of how we attach, as we were talking about attachment earlier, very strongly to anything. It may be my family, it may be my work. That becomes such a strong part of my identity. And I feel that I am nothing if not for that identity. A very strong, beautiful demonstration here. And I'm not allowing myself to be anyone other than that identity, because that is in purview of my knowledge, that is in the series of known. I'm
Yes.
not allowing myself to break that boundary. And also, I would like to share here that how easily content we become. That he has gotten his contentment a little. He says, cheerfully, easily we have climbed, as far as this plateau from which we can look at life and better understand its problems. Just that is enough. So he's fine with a little bit of clarity. He's not aiming for extreme clarity, like a very solid, strong clarity. He's fine with a little bit of pleasure. Just we also become very happy in our life. Many a times a little bit of pleasure, okay, it'll do for some time, right? And we buy into those bribes.
Yes.
And again, this reminds me of yet another Kabir Doha, Prem Gali Ati Sankari, Jame Do Na Samay. So Kabir says that this road of love is very narrow. Two cannot be there, only one can pass. And the ego wants that I should reach the truth. The ego, strong attitude of the ego is I must reach the truth. So this I must remain. If the I is threatened to be annihilated, then I would better take a U-turn and go back. Right? And this is how we keep on escaping from true love.
Perfect. Perfect example.
Yes. Yeah, I would like to read the ascetic. Is it visible now to you, Chitraji?
Yeah, yeah. Ascetic, poor friend. He has gone back, vanquished by his attachment to his work, by the illusion of the outer world and its appearances. The ascent to truth, but nothing should slow us down. Let us continue on our way without regret, without hesitation. They set out once more.
Beautiful. I think because he is so used to renouncing, so this aspect of ascetic also comes and helps in the picture, right?
Yes.
Uh, so he sees that okay, this person is not with me, doesn't matter. Yeah, so that helps, right?
Yes.
That illusion of the outer world.
Mm, mm.
These are all standard.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, the second stage.
7 stages.
Second stage, a part of the path where the slope becomes steeper and turns at right angles. So it's like a very steep slope upwards, so that it is impossible to see where it goes. Below, a long, white, very dense cloud completely isolates it from the world. They all pass by more or less cheerfully, except the pessimist, who comes last, dragging his feet, and sinks down on the bank by the roadside. He holds his head in his hands and sits there without moving. The others notice that he is not following them and look back. one of the students retraces his steps and touches him on the shoulder. Yeah. Yes, I think the one who reads next can just read all that. Yeah.
Okay. First student. Well, what's the matter with you? Are you tired? Pessimist, waving him away. No, leave me alone. I've had enough. It's impossible. First student. But why? Come on, take heart. Pessimist. No, I tell you, I'm worn out. It's a stupid and impossible venture, pointing to the cloud beneath their feet. Just look at that. We are completely cut off from the world and life. Nothing, nothing is left on which we can base our understanding. He looks back towards the point where the path turns at right angles, and there we can't even see where we are going. It is an absurdity or a delusion, perhaps both. After all, there might not even be any truth to discover. The world and life are only a dead end, a hell in which we are imprisoned. You can go on if you like, but I won't move. I refuse to be taken in.
Mm.
He buries his head in his hands once more. The student, losing all hope of convincing him and not wanting to linger, leaves him to his despair and joins the others. They continue their climb.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
That's as we were discussing earlier. Anything can become my identity. Now
Yes.
this thing called pessimism, this has become my identity.
Right.
Right? And the ego feels very comfortable in the identity, no matter how much it may be suffering.
Yes.
And although he has no hope from the world, yet now he is this person who has no hope from the world. So at least this he knows, and he is not able to let go of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think as Chitraji was sharing in the beginning regarding faith, this is faith that I'm challenging my previous identities, and I'm allowing them to shatter. I'm not limiting myself to one or the other identity. I may have been very religious in the past, very ritualistic in the past, but that's not the person I am right now, and it is okay. All is allowed in this universe. So I can allow myself to be that then and to be this now.
Yes.
Yes, and then the more I become softer towards myself, the ego also softens. So this is a very interesting demonstration of how the mind always wants to be in the known. No matter it is suffering, but it's a known domain. What is unknown, I am not sure, because there the ego has chances of annihilation. I don't know what will be happening there. Right? So
Right.
this is how the mind works.
Yeah.
Somebody who wants to
About
experience only failure will not be open to any good thing, just in
Yeah,
case.
yeah. Because the failure has been giving me identity so far.
Yes.
I
Yes.
am the one who fails, so at least I am something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
in
Chitraji,
Savitri
again I
also, yeah,
interrupted
no
you.
problem. In Savitri also, Sri Aurobindo explained about this pessimism in a very nice manner. Actually, that it is coming in that triple soul forces, no, that canto. When Savitri has to travel through the journey and find out her soul, she used to meet the triple soul forces. That time she met the mother of grief, mother of sorrows, and then that man of sorrows is coming. Ultimately,
Mm.
those two lines is exactly this pessimism. I am the man of sorrows. I am he who is nailed on the white cross of the universe. To enjoy my agony, God built the earth. My passion he has made his drama's theme. He has sent me naked into this bitter world and beaten me with his rods of grief and pain.
Mm.
Allah, that this pessimism, remember, I can
Yeah, beautiful. Which page number is that, Chitraji?
505.
505.
Yeah, 505, 506, whole pages about this pessimistic man only.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Beautiful.
This is the explanation by mother, no? This thing, actually. This
Which one?
now we are reading
Yeah, this is the play by the mother. Yeah.
mother, yeah. So many things are similar. Even
Yeah,
before
yeah.
mother, yeah, met Shilbito, so many things I saw similarity actually.
Mm.
Yeah. Savitri lines also similar.
Yeah.
It's a wonder, really. We are all fortunate to know about them at least.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
This is nice actually. We can all, whenever we have time,
Mm.
we can go through these pages 505 Savitri and 506.
506.
Yeah, 506.
Very interesting. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing. So this guy, he buries his head once more, so he's not going to go further. And then comes the third stage. Let us take up this third stage and then we can finish. Yes. Yeah, who would like to go next? Yeah.
I'll go. The scientist and the artist arrived together after the others, as if they had dropped behind while talking. They are nearing the end of their conversation. Scientist. Yes, as I was telling you, I believe we set out on this adventure a little rashly. Artist. It is true that so far our ascent seems to have been rather fruitless. Of course, we have made some very interesting observations, but these observations have not had much result. Scientist. Yes, I prefer my own methods. They are much more rational. They are based on constant experimentation, and I do not take a step forward until I am sure of the validity of the previous one. Let us call our friends. I think I have something to communicate to them. He beckons and calls to the others. They draw near, and the scientist addresses them. My dear friends and fellow travelers, as we move further and further away from the world and its concrete reality, I have the growing feeling that we are behaving like children. It was revealed to us that if we climb this precipitous mountain, whose summit no one has yet been able to scale, we would reach the truth, and we set out without even bothering to study the way up. How do we know that we have not taken the wrong path? Where is our assurance that the result will conform to our hopes? It seems to me that we have acted with unpardonable imprudence and that our endeavor is not at all scientific. I have therefore decided, although to my great regret, since my friendly feelings towards you all remain intact, that I must stop here in order to study the problem and, if possible, to form some certainty about the path to follow, the right path, the one which leads to the goal. Besides, I am convinced that if I can find the secret of the composition of the smallest thing in nature, for example, this humble stone on the path, I shall have found the truth we are seeking. So I shall stay here, bid you all, I think that's the French word, au revoir, yes, au revoir, I hope, for perhaps you will come back to me and to scientific methods. Or else, if I find what I am looking for, I shall come to you to bring you the good news.
Yeah.
That's the rational mind.
Mm. No, this reminds me of Albert Einstein, for example. And other also physicists. I think those physicists who have been really kind of into physics, who have gone too deep into this universe, they have also kind of, through their quotes, what we read, we see that they have also gotten in touch with some truth which is beyond the physical reality.
Yes.
So if I am in science and yet it is making me dogmatic and rigid, it means I have not yet touched the ground using that matter. Even matter has the same light as is presenting the heights of the light of consciousness. The matter is dark and inconscient, but yet it hides the light of the divine. So if I'm truly able to go deep into the matter, then we see the kind of quotes that come from Albert Einstein's life, or maybe Schrodinger, for example. They just reveal something beyond the reality of the matter. They accept that reality too as reality. So ये वाली स्टेज ऐसी लगती है जैसे कि हम कहीं बीच में अटक गए, we have made our home somewhere in the middle, neither here neither there, wanting this to be true and real, wanting just this rigidity to be true.
Right.
Yeah, yesterday last week I started reading this book, the Physics of Tao,
Okay.
and there's Sri Aurobindo is mentioned, and then I'll just read there's one European physicist,
बिल्कुल.
his statement, and on Sri Aurobindo's. Okay, so it says that it seems then that the Eastern mystics and Western physicists went through similar revolutionary experiences, which led them to completely new ways of seeing the world. In the following two passages, the European physicist Niels Bohr and the Indian mystic Sri Aurobindo both experienced the depth and the radical character of this experience. So, and I'll quote them now. So, the physicist says, the great extension of our experience in recent years has brought to light the insufficiency of our simple mechanical conceptions and, as a consequence, has shaken the foundation on which the customary interpretation of observation was based. And then Sri Aurobindo's quote, all things in fact begin to change their nature and appearance. One's whole world is radically different. There is a new, vast, and deep way of experiencing, seeing, knowing, contacting things. So, like you just said, now how their thinking process has been so limited, but now they are also opening to some vaster knowledge and light.
When we are in our day-to-day lives, little instances, throughout the day, if i'm if I'm fully present with those experiences, they can become my teacher. All those experiences, they can reveal the truth to me, and I don't need to actually study anything else than study the life that I am living. But the route that we take is usually to avoid all those little obvious truths present in front of us, and we then seek for knowledge somewhere outside of that domain. कहीं कोई क्लास अटेंड कर लें जिससे कुछ पता लग जाए, because we keep on missing the obvious. And if I take a simple ordinary movement of my life, making a breakfast, or anything, it can be anything very trivial, so called seeming trivial, and go to the depth of that conversation or that argument or anything, I think there truth just hides, waiting to be revealed. What happened when I was encountering that person? What are the movements within me? Why did I behave in that way? Why did I get scared, for example? But how we go about is that we don't want to touch these domains of our life, and we want to look at truth somewhere else, maybe from books and scriptures, but we don't want to connect these two. And there we keep on hiding a lot of darkness that actually needs a lot of light.
Yeah, that is our conditioning, the way we've been. We don't think and don't question, like you were once talking about, that we should, if we start questioning and thinking deeply on something, some truth will be revealed.
Yeah.
True.
And questioning each and every facet, for example, which I have taken for granted for 20, 30 years, it takes a lot of courage to question that. Because the stake is that all my life will appear maybe rubbish if I now begin to question. But the thing is that at least whatever is remaining now can be lived in truth.
Correct.
Right? So I'm fine questioning all that and calling all that rubbish, because there whatever I was that. But now if I see myself as changed, ready to change, then why not question and see the truth right now, which I am able to see, not protecting my old years, not in the kind of a fear of losing my old identities. So it needs a lot of courage also to question now. Whenever we wake up, we question right now, what am I doing throughout the day? Where am I spending time? Why am I reacting like this and that? What makes me react like that? All these questions to be put to oneself. And then, as mother shares, that life actually becomes a very interesting journey. Then we don't need to find entertainment anywhere else. Life itself becomes like entertainment, like a comedy, if we look at our actions throughout the day. So the artist is also very ready to leave us. Let's see what he has to say. Yeah.
Chitraji, you want to read?
Yeah, but for me, something, yeah, it is there.
Shall I make it bigger? If it's
Yeah, yeah, no, no. I don't think.
एक minute.
No, if
Up.
yeah, now it is okay. I too am thinking of leaving you. My reasons are not here. The letters are coming. I will ask my son how to remove that.
Sure. Okay.
Oh yeah, how to remove this actually? These things. It's not going, no? Okay, I'll leave it. I too am thinking of leaving you. My reasons are not the same as those of our friend, the scientist, but they are just as compelling. During this interesting climb of ours, I have heard some experiences. New beauties have been revealed to me, or rather, a new sense of beauty has taken birth in me. At the same time, I have been seized with an ardent and imperious need to express my experience in concrete forms, to cause them in matter, so that they may serve for the education of all, and especially so that the physical world may be illumined by them. I'm going to leave you then regretfully and stay here until I can give form to my new impressions. When I have said all that I have to stay, I have to say, I shall take up the ascent again and rejoin you, wherever you are, in quest of new discoveries. Goodbye and good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very beautifully explained, no? How, yeah, the artist way of mind, I mean,
Yeah.
how they.
And it appears that it is different from the scientific mind, but
Yeah.
actually it's a very big illusion that actually these two are very, very similar. They are just trapped in their own ways of life.
Okay.
Like, just like we are, we become trapped in our own ways of life. We don't even question, and we think that my way is very special and unique. Your may be unique, but my way is also unique. But the uniqueness also is bound in a rigidity. So as he says, my reasons are not the same as those of our friend the scientist, but they are just as compelling. As mother shares, when a lot of light of truth, a lot of grace when it comes in our life, one also needs a lot of solidity and stillness to contain that grace. Otherwise, whenever we have a little bit of joy, we spill it around. We want to just express it out. We want to kind of spend that energy. So, here in this case, for example, whatever beauty that he experienced until now, the artist, for example, uh, he now wants to express it out. And mother shares at many places that this want to express it out actually is a signal for our own weakness. And I use this example many times in the sessions where I use this imagery of, imagine that there is a cup and that cup is made of soft clay. If a lot of waterfall of grace falls on that cup, it will break, it will shatter. And yet, if the cup is very strong, solid, and poised, only there the waterfall can dawn upon, and it will not break. So that is how we have to kind of develop slowly a strong poise and solidity when mother even calls about invoking peace, and stillness in the body. What that does to us is that prepares us to have more and more of grace in life. Because if the grace comes and I just want to express it out, it will not stay for me for a long time. The grace will not be able to do work. And that is also what we see in Savitri. That Savitri had this lot of, mother uses this word, Sri Aurobindo uses the word calm felicity. So a joy which is contained in this stillness, the stillness of Savitri's being. So, along with a lot of intensity that pours upon us, we also need to develop, along with that, parallelly, a lot of poise that is able to carry that grace. Otherwise, something comes, some little bit of intuition comes, insight comes, I just kind of spill it around. I'm not able to contain it. So, what came to me when I was reading this paragraph was that a little bit of beauty has dawned upon in his life in so far, the path so far. And now he wants to just express it out, because that is the way he has been expressing it out. Nothing new is happening. He is not allowing himself to be something new. Same process is happening. An insight comes, I express it out. An insight comes, I express it out. So, no transformation of nature, as mother shares, no transformation of nature is being allowed. I remain the same. I am the artist. I must remain the same. A little bit of a drop of truth may be revealed to me, but I will remain the same. I'll express it in the same manner as I have been used to. So we may think that something new is happening so far in the path, but actually it's the same process being repeated. And that's why Sri Aurobindo and mother say that transformation of nature is the most difficult. That comes later in the phases of our growth. That which I called as myself has changed and is open to change. Yeah, because that continuously threatens my identity. We keep on making these identities. Yeah, just the last paragraph, and after that we can.
So carefully words have been chosen. I have been seized with an ardent and
Yeah,
the imperious need to express my experience in
yeah,
concrete form.
yeah. That is
So
how we kind
carefully,
of
Mother has
dubiously
chosen the
use
word.
these words, right?
So we find a bit of everything in ourselves.
Bilkul,
I see
bilkul,
some myself as an artist sometimes,
bilkul, bilkul.
pessimist.
Totally. Yeah, Yeah, I think you
Okay.
said it very correctly, Preeti. These are all stages in our own lives. These are not different people. That's very important to understand. Yeah,
Stages bhi nahi hai. I think it is like I see my throughout the day. I can sometimes be an artist, sometimes.
beautiful, beautiful. Yes, very true.
Okay, so I'll finish off with.
Yes.
Did ma'am finish? Oh yeah, second student. What we do care about these defections, each one follows his destiny and acts according to his own nature. Nothing can turn us away from our endeavor. Let us continue on our way, courageously, boldly, without weakening. They all go on except for the scientist and the artist.
Mm. Yeah. It's very interesting to see that uh, when we are looking at others, we feel that it's a limiting nature that is preventing him to act. But when it falls upon us, it's the same thing actually. So we are no different. But when we are looking at others, it becomes easy to look objective. We are objective about that. But
Yeah.
and that is why we were talking in the earlier sessions that we need a certain objectivity towards ourselves. We must make ourselves our other, so that I'm able to see myself from a distance, just like I see my neighbor. Because when I'm too attached to myself, I'll not be able to see clearly. I'll have a lot of blind spots. So can I practice this also in life, to become my other and look at my life objectively? That brings a lot of space between me and what I call as myself. And then something can change. Then I allow change to happen in that space.
And also very beautiful. We all have all these spots. Preeti said, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Because long back I read this, but I know so much of meaning is
Mm,
revealed now when we are sharing.
yeah. Great. Yeah. So shall we call it a day then?
Yeah,
Not any other comments?
beautiful.
Thank you very much. This was
Thank you,
lovely.
Srinivas.
So, on this
Very
practice of
beautiful.
stepping back and looking at yourself, Monica,
Ji.
are there some because we are all experiencing and we are चित्रा जी इतने समय से पढ़ रही हैं और practice भी कर रही हैं. I would love to hear from her also.
Mm-hmm.
How should we practice? I mean, it's not an easy thing to come out of yourself and look at yourself because वो moment आता है और आप बह जाते हैं उस emotion में.
Mm.
So are there any some practical ways that maybe you have tried and or like which you can share?
Chitra ji, would you like to share?
Actually, for me, no, mother will push me to that. Actually, every time if I fail, eh, anyhow, I will face the same situation again from different people. Then I have to practice it. Whole life is like that only for me. If I'm not conscious, I'll be again pushed to that.
Mm. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
It comes as a reminder to you.
No.
It comes to us also, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I will be conscious, I can say. So far.
Yeah,
Yeah, sometimes.
beautiful. I
But
think what you are saying is that it is almost an irreversible process. Now you cannot live the other life that you were
yeah,
living.
correct.
You're
That is
forced to go
yeah,
this way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Just like
yeah,
just like we
with
learn a
yeah,
bicycle, we
yeah,
cannot unlearn it.
yeah.
Now I know how to ride, so I cannot pretend that I don't know how to ride. Yeah,
Each and
sorry.
every experience is like that only for I mean So, as you said, it is interesting. Life is interesting now because I was once, Advaita follower actually. Everything is illusion, Maya for some time. But when problems, I face lot of problems, I tried to follow that. Even though I know about Mother previously also, I read lot about it and used to read Savitri, but when I faced a big crisis, I tried to follow that Advaitic system, but it didn't. No, I couldn't actually.
Mm.
Hmm. Our sweet mother, she won't leave us.
Anyone else would like to share here what Preeti asked about stepping back and choosing to step back? How do we do that?
I think this, what we read today also, if we can connect to each character and see what is common with us,
Hmm.
is if you start questioning, and if you start observing yourself constantly, it might help that, or just asking questions that, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What is it? What is in, I mean, what is for me? Why am I, what is making me do this? Why is it that I'm not able to step back, or whatever it is? I think if we learn to constantly, or whenever there is a difficult situation, then you ask, why have I attracted this situation? Because, and also whenever we experience any irritation towards somebody else, the mother always says that uh, it's within us, it's unhealed within us. That's why we are seeing it outside. So we just keep observing ourselves that what irritates me, what bothers me,
Hmm.
and then start introspecting. I think that will be helpful.
Daru, are you there? Would you like to share?
I have to go. I have my yoga class.
अच्छा ठीक है.
you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
joining.
Yeah, thank you. Bye
Bye
bye.
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 Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, our circle this week was also about, stepping back to see more. So, one of the takeaways from that was that, it's like lot of times you don't have a choice. Like, you're either, the peace that you are losing over the small events or the big events, they're just events. It's just too precious and you don't want to lose it anymore. And I think, like in surrender, they say there's a detailed surrender and there's a, central surrender. So I feel here also there's a detailed stepping back, that small things, they bother you and you step back and you try to make sense of things. And there's, probably one day there would be a central stepping back and kind of, and then it would probably, you will be able to be that witness that a lot of texts talk about. तो आई गेस वही करना पड़ेगा, फ्री विल चॉइस यूज करके, whatever is bothering, why is it bothering me, and small. Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Yeah. और हम ये भी देखना शुरू कर सकते हैं ना कि ऐसे कौन कौन से इंस्टेंसेस हैं जब मैं कर पाती हूँ. When I am able to step back, those are what are those instances, and what are those instances which prevent my stepping back. I think that if I have that kind of an inquisitive look into my own life, that when I am a bit insecure with that person, or I want something, expectation or demand from that person, then I am not able to step back. So we kind of, as if a microscope is turned now towards my own self, and I'm able to see the little details within my own self. And then again, life becomes more adventurous. Like there is more probing, and I'm feel so. I particularly, if I talk about myself, it's actually very entertaining in nature. Looking at your life with a microscope, it actually is a lot of entertainment. One doesn't require any other modes of entertainment. And after some time, then it becomes a one-way process. As Chitraji was sharing, you have no choice but to walk this path. You cannot live that life which used to be once yours. So no matter how hard it may be to look at the situation, still I will be compelled to look at the situation.
Yeah, situation also changing a lot actually. That also I should say, no. By Mother's grace, circumstances become favorable. I mean, to pursue this path.
Hmm.
That is also there. Not always you have to struggle, struggle, struggle. No, not like that.
Yes, yes. Beautiful.
Course of time, struggle will become lesser and lesser, and
Flow will come.
yeah,
Yeah.
that I'm experiencing now.
Hmm.
That's
Earlier
with the
it's, yeah, sorry, Preeti.
proportion to your surrender and faith. Yeah,
Hmm.
It's all
Yeah.
grace, yeah.
true.
Grace only will make you to surrender also. That surrender also comes in full swing only because of the grace. So that goes together.
Right.
Okay
Thank
then.
you.
Thank you
Yes,
everyone.
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Very beautiful. Yeah.
Thanks, Shashiji.
Thank
Bye.
you.